This is the Texaco Star Academic Challenge. Top flight competition between teams from Houston-area high schools. Now, here's the woman with the questions, Donna Rush.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Texaco Star Academic Challenge. I am Donna Rush. We started out with 88 teams, and we have another match today as these teams work their way in hopes of becoming the city-wide champions. We have two very competitive teams today, Klein High School and St. John's. And before we begin our warm-up round, I just want to remind you of the various sounds you'll be hearing during this game. This means your answer is correct. This means an answer is incorrect. And this signals the end of a quarter or the end of the game. So let's begin. That's the sound. Let's begin our warm-up round with a 5-point question. The author or editor's preliminary remarks written as an introduction to the book.
Klein, Mike.
Preface.
Correct for 5 points. For 10 points. In 1944, a team headed by Alan Turing.
St. John's Telling.
The Manhattan Project.
I'll continue. Alex Turing developed Colossus, the first all-electronic calculating device utilizing vacuum tubes. Colossus was developed for which one of the following 4 purposes? Tracking planes, cracking codes.
Klein, Neil.
Cracking codes.
That is correct. Cracking codes is what we're looking for. And for 5 points. In 1990, President Bush set a deadline to put a man on Mars. In which year, on July 20th, the 5th anniversary of the first moon?
50th. Klein, Mike.
2019.
That is correct. The 50th anniversary of the first moon landing. And for 10 points. The full name of this union includes chauffeurs, warehousemen, and helpers. What is it?
Klein, Mike.
The Teamsters Union.
The question is a little unclear. More specific, please.
The full name of this union. Stands for St. John's. It is the Teamsters, but the full name is the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. For 5 points is the visual, so please take a look at your monitor in the studio of Houston's 2. You're looking at an example of what kind of structure?
St. John's Telling.
It's an oil drilling rig.
Offshore oil rig, correct. Now for 10 points. What's the only town in America to send a man to prison for the attempted murder of a 500-year-old oak tree? The famous...
Klein, Mike.
Austin, Texas.
That is correct. The Treaty Oak, and it's still alive today, believe it or not. Now for 5 points. Yorimoto was the first one in 1192, and Hitotsubashi was the last one in
St. John's, Anna.
Samurai. In 1867, what title was held by these hereditary rulers of Japan?
Klein, Cheney.
Shogun.
Shogun is correct. Here's a 10-pointer for you. Which auto part engages and disengages the engine?
Klein, Neil.
The clutch.
From the transmission, correct. For 5 points. If 4 academic teams are in a tournament so that each team will play each of the other teams just once, how many matches would be in the tournament?
St. John's, Ted.
12.
Klein, Mike.
24.
Looking for 6. 6. Now for 5 points. Here's a music question, so listen carefully. In the chorus of this song, the title character is told to mind what 2 things?
Klein, Adam.
Where are your P's and Q's?
Stands for St. John's.
St. John's, Ryan.
Your business?
Looking for the music and the steps. That's what we're looking for 10 points. Many contracts negotiated by unions rest upon the principle that a worker's length of service should be a guide to the...
Klein, Adam.
Tenure?
I'll continue. Should be a guide to the allocation of job opportunities and other benefits within the firm. What is the name of the principle?
St. John's, Ted.
Seniority?
Seniority is correct. For 10 points. In a concave lens, what can be defined as the distance from the lens to the point behind?
Klein, Neil.
The focal length.
That is correct. For 5 points. Before Louis Armstrong became famous for his trumpet playing, he started on this similar, more compact brass instrument.
Klein, Mike.
The cornet.
Cornet is correct for 5 points. Here's a 10-point question for you. The scientific study serology is used in one of these ways: cave exploration, criminal investigation, underwater welding, language translation, or beer brewing.
Klein, Mike.
Beer brewing?
Chance for St. John's.
St. John's, Anna.
The underground drilling.
Actually, criminal investigation. It's the study of blood. The study of blood. For 10 points, here's a visual for you, so take a look at the monitor in your studio. Identify the objects in this picture.
St. John's, Ted. Bees.
Chance for Klein.
Klein, Mike.
Flagella?
May not be something you eat much. Alfalfa sprouts is what we were looking for. Now for 5 points. 2 students are located 8 kilometers apart.
800.
Excuse me. 2 students are located. You may want to get your pencils for this one. Once again, 2 students are located 800 kilometers apart on the same meridian of longitude. They measure the altitude of the sun at noon on the same day. They can use these measurements to calculate the Earth's circumference, Earth's density, Earth's mass.
Klein, Adam.
Circumference.
That is correct for 5 points. And that marks the end of our warm-up round. Stay with us and we'll take a look at that scoreboard, plus we'll enter our bonus round on the Texaco Star Academic Challenge. Welcome back to the Texaco Star Academic Challenge. We're going to take a look at that scoreboard. Heading into round 2, Klein with 65 points and St. John's with 15. We're now going to head into our bonus round. But before we do, we want to introduce our teams to you. First of all, we're going to begin with St. John's. First of all, we have the captain, Anna Preby. She is a senior, a National Merit semifinalist, and she spent the summer in Poland. Talon Bennett is also a senior. He's a National Merit semifinalist, all-conference guard on the varsity football team as well. Ted Calvin is also a senior. He's a National Merit semifinalist. He's a yearbook editor and an Eagle Scout. Ryan Bersiker is a junior. He's on the varsity volleyball team, won an all-expense-paid trip as well to Germany. The alternates are Jennifer Feather and Nicholas Bailey. The coaches are Alice Nelson and Kim Jones. That is a team from St. John's School. Also now we have Klein High School. Mike Schophoff is a senior. He's a National Merit semifinalist, a bass trombone player, and a drill instructor in the band. Chinny Pokala is a sophomore. He is vice president of Mu Alpha Theta and Jets and is a member of the French National Honor Society as well as the Chess Club. Adam Marshall is a junior. He is a UIL math competitor, vice president of Mu Alpha Theta, and a member of the Latin Club. And rounding out the team from Klein High School is Neil Anala. He is a senior and a National Merit semifinalist, president of the Computer Club, vice president of Mu Alpha Theta, and an orchestra member. The alternates are James Moon and Kerry Lasher. The coach is Don Robinson, and that is a team from Klein High School. We also want to introduce our judges for today for you. We have Professor Tom Hudson with the Department of Physics at the University of Houston, and Mike Mastandria, the Executive Director of Score Unlimited. And that brings us to our bonus round. So, teams, I just want to remind you, the first team to properly answer a toss-up question will then have the opportunity to play for 4 bonus questions, and the subject this time in bonus will be medical questions. Here is your toss-up question worth 10 points. Princess Di's London home is this palace on the edge.
St. John's, Anna.
Kensington Palace.
We're looking for
Kensington is what we're looking for. So now you will play St. John's. 4 bonus questions, and you may collaborate with one another for these answers. The first one is worth 5 points. Which is not a disease or malfunction of the eye? Myopia, conjunctivitis, keratitis, lupus, amblyopia.
Lupus.
Correct. All of these are skin conditions or diseases except seborrhea, eczema, psoriasis, melanin, or leprosy.
Leprosy.
For 15 points.
No, she missed
Oh, I'm
that.
sorry. Yes, you missed that. We were looking for melanin on that one, so let's go to a toss-up question now. For 10 points. The Ancient Mariner, a man with a tale to tell.
Klein, Neil.
The Rime of the Ancient Mariner by Samuel Taylor Coleridge.
Not what we're looking for. Found his audience when he met a man headed where?
St. John's, Kellen.
On his way to a wedding.
That is correct. For your bonus, identify the author of each literary song. For 5 points, the Song of Hiawatha.
Longfellow.
For 10 points, Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience.
William Blake.
Correct. For 15 points, Song of Myself.
Whitman.
And for 20 points, Song of the Chattahoochee.
Faulkner.
Sidney Lanier on that one, but you did very well, garnering 30 extra points. We'll go to another toss-up question. Worth 10 points. What was Woodrow Wilson asking Congress for when he declared...
St. John's, Kellen.
To ratify the League of Nations.
Not what we're looking for on this one. When he declared the world must be made safe for democracy.
Klein, Cheney.
U.S. entrance into World War I.
That's fine.
That is a declaration of war against Germany. Your bonus now is on the subject of wives of Henry VIII. For 5 points. Henry's second wife. She was the sister of one of his mistresses.
Catherine of Aragon?
Anne Boleyn is who we were looking for. So let's turn to another toss-up question. This is a music one, so listen carefully. Listen to this Beethoven rarity. A duet for piano and what other instrument?
St. John's, Anna.
The harpsichord.
Klein, Neil.
Guitar.
Looking for the mandolin. The mandolin. Let's go for another toss-up question worth 10 points. Name the only state whose postal abbreviation is a conjunction.
Klein, Mike.
Maine.
Chance for St. John.
St. John's, Anna.
New Hampshire.
Looking for Oregon. O-R. Here's another toss-up question worth 10 points. What gaseous substance is produced when a metallic carbonate is decomposed upon heating?
Klein, Cheney.
Carbon dioxide.
Correct for 10 points. Your bonus questions are on the subject of numbers. For 5 points, if you wanted to permit the maximum amount of light to pass through your camera lens, which of the following settings would you use? 1.4, 2.0, 2.8, 4.5, or 5.6?
Your answer?
1.4.
Correct. For 10 points. How many inches from top to bottom is regular typing paper?
11 inches.
Correct. For 15, according to Matthew, how old was the oldest child Herod ordered killed in the slaughter of the innocents?
2 years.
That is correct. And for 20 points, rounding out the bonus, one reason the Russians have historically been so defense and military conscious now is that they lost so many people in World War II. It is generally agreed that the Russians lost how many people in that war? More than any other nation. Give your answer to the nearest million.
12 million.
20 million people in that. And that marks the end of round 2. Stay with us when we come back. We'll take a look at that scoreboard. Plus, we'll enter the 60-second round where the students will have the opportunity to choose from 4 categories: German times, English dynasties, Persian loan words, and that mystery category on the Texaco Star Academic Challenge. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Texaco Star Academic Challenge. Heading into round 3, we have Klein with 115 and St. John's with 70 points, but still half the game to go. We're about to begin our 60-second round, but before we do, we want to let you know that all the questions for the Texaco Star Academic Challenge are written by Questions Unlimited of Columbus, Ohio. Now, getting started in this round, we're going to let St. John's choose first to see if they can do a little catching up here. Which subject would you like?
English dynasties.
For English dynasties, you will have 60 seconds to answer as many up to 10 questions as you can. If any are skipped or missed, Klein will then have the opportunity to answer those questions. I'll name 10 English monarchs, and you name the ruling house to which they belong. Judges, start the clock. Elizabeth the First.
Tudor.
Elizabeth II.
Windsor.
Richard the Lion-Hearted.
The Plantagenets.
William I.
Normans.
Richard III.
York.
Victoria.
Saxe-Coburg-Gotha.
Go on.
James I.
Stuart.
Henry II.
The Plantagenets.
George I.
The Hanover.
Henry V.
Lancaster.
That marks the end of that category. I totaled up 9.
Protest.
We're checking something with the judges quickly.
Yeah. I believe that she's probably given a better answer than what we have, so that would be 10 out of 10 and a 20-point bonus.
10 over 10. Okay. Congratulations on that. And because St. John's received all 10 questions, they also get a 20-point bonus on that. So congratulations to St. John's. We'll now give Klein the opportunity to choose a category.
We're going to take the mystery category.
All right, the mystery category is on Idaho. Judges, start the clock. Idaho is 25% this religious group, which has had its greatest influence there outside of Utah.
Mormon.
What is Idaho's nickname according to the Universal Almanac?
Pass.
Idaho shares a small border with what Canadian province?
Saskatchewan.
Among its notable physical features is the Grand Canyon, not the Grand Canyon of the Colorado River, but the Grand Canyon of which river?
Snake.
Only one Fortune 500 company has its headquarters in Idaho, and that's which Boise Paper Products company?
Scott Tells.
Among the famous natives of Idaho was what Shoshone interpreter?
Pass.
What is Idaho's most famous ski resort?
Angel Falls.
Part of which national park stretches into Idaho?
Yellowstone.
Idaho became part of the U.S. when the Idaho Treaty was concluded.
1848.
That's incorrect. So they garnered 30 points.
30 points on that one, and now St. John's has the opportunity to answer 5 questions here. What is Idaho's nickname according to the Universal Almanac?
The Potato State.
Good guess, but the Gem State, believe it or not. Idaho shares a small border with what Canadian province?
British Columbia.
Correct. Only one Fortune 500 company has its headquarters in Idaho, and that's which Boise?
Weyerhaeuser.
Boise Cascade, actually. What is Idaho's most famous ski resort?
Squaw Valley.
Sun Valley. And you need to go
Okay.
back and pick up the other one. The one just
number
before
6?
that. Yes.
All right. Among the famous natives of Idaho was what Shoshone interpreter?
Sacagawea.
Correct. And Idaho became part of the U.S. when the Idaho Treaty was concluded with which nation in 1846?
England.
Very good. And the number of answers garnered there?
They got 30 more points, so.
30 more points. So
And that is
congratulations to
correct.
St. John's. That marks the end of our 60-second round. Stay with us, because coming up is the Stump the Experts category, where the questions become even more difficult, but they're worth more points, right here on the Texaco Star Academic Challenge. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Texaco Star Academic Challenge. Heading into the 4th round, let's take a look at that scoreboard. Klein High School now at 145 to St. John's 220. But in the Stump the Experts round, anything can happen, because these questions are more difficult and they're worth more points. So let's just get underway here, team. For 20 points, this is a visual, so please take a look at your monitor in the studio of Houston's 2. We think of this artist primarily as a painter. His sculpture is influenced by the sharply chiseled geometric features of primitive African work. His paintings with Picasso's led the...
St. John's, Ryan Bruck.
Correct, for 20 points. Here's a 15-point for you. This cathedral attached to the Doge Palace is named for the patron saint of Venice. Can you name it?
Klein Neal.
St. Peter's.
Stands for St. John's. St. Mark's is what we're looking for 20 points. And get out your pencils for this one. Arrange these 6 breakfast foods in order from lowest to highest in fat. Fresh fruit, toast, croissant, pancakes, high-fiber, ready-to-eat cereal, Danish pastry.
Klein, Neil.
The cereal, fruit, pastry, croissant, and oh, never mind.
Chance for St. John's.
St. John's, Ryan.
The lowest in sight would be fruit, toast, cereal,
Okay, fresh fruit, high-fiber cereal, then toast, pancakes, Danish, and the croissant for 15 points. This abolitionist was the brother of the author of Uncle Tom's Cabin. He was the pastor of a New York church. Who was he?
Klein, Cheney.
Garrison,
Chance for St. John's.
St. John's, Kellen.
Beecher.
That's right, Henry Ward Beecher for 20 points. Since the British took control of the country, how many people served as emperor or empress of India?
Klein, Neil.
0.
Chance for St. John's.
St. John's, Kellen.
2.
Actually, 5 have served. For 20 points, there's a music question for you, so listen carefully. An accomplished flutist and the composer of this next selection was which 18th century king?
Klein, Mike.
Louis the 16th.
St. John's, Anna.
Louis XIV.
Looking for Frederick the Great on this one. For 15 points, in 1978, who became the first black woman to be honored on a U.S. postage stamp?
St. John's, Ted.
Tubman.
Correct, Harriet Tubman. For 20 points. Identify the popular plant native to Peru with fragrant flowers always facing the sun.
St. John's, Ryan.
the orchid,
Chance for Klein.
Klein, Neil.
Sunflower.
Heliotrope. For 20 points, during which decade did Turkey become a republic?
Klein, Cheney.
1920s.
Correct, 1923 to be exact. And for 15 points, Eugene O'Neill made blacks the subject of 2 of his plays. Name either one of them. The Emperor Jones and All God's Chillun's Got Wings. For 15 points, here's a visual for you. Please take a look at your monitor in the studio of Houston's 2. I want you to name this outstanding colonial painter or the patriot depicted.
Klein, Cheney.
Stewart.
St. John's, Ryan.
Jefferson,
John Singleton Copley. Now, for 20 points, Queen Elizabeth has volunteered to remove some of the royal family from the public payroll, leaving only what 3 people to be supported by the taxpayers?
Klein, Mike.
The Queen, Prince Charles, and Princess Di.
Chance for St. John's.
St. John's, Anna.
The Queen Mother, and Prince Charles.
Close. Queen Elizabeth, Queen Mother, and Prince Philip. For 20 points, William Blake said, that which moves some to tears of joy is in the eyes of others only a green thing which stands in the way. Of what was he speaking?
Klein, Adam.
Jealousy.
Chance for St. John's.
St. John's, Anna.
Envy.
Looking for a tree for 15 points. Journalist Robert Shelton had a bestseller with the biography No Direction Home. What legendary folk rock star was the subject of this biography?
St. John's, Kellen.
Bob Dylan.
Correct. For 20 points.
2 minutes left.
What are the last 5 letters of the Greek alphabet?
Klein, Adam.
Upsilon, Phi, Chi, Psi, Omega.
That is correct. For 20 points. Here's a music question for you, so listen. We'll play an excerpt from a virtuoso harmonica performance and ask you to name that tune.
Klein, Mike.
Dueling banjos.
St. John's, Anna.
Roll out the barrel.
The Orange Blossom Special is that one. Now for 15 points. Which Edgar Allan Poe story is about a victim of the Spanish Inquisition?
Klein, Neil.
The Pit and the Pendulum.
Correct. For 20 points, there are two types of competitive rowing. One is called sculling and the other is sweep rowing. Explain the principal difference between the two.
Klein, Neil.
Sweep rowing uses very long paddles, and sculling uses short paddles and quick strokes.
Opportunity for St. John's.
St. John's, Ryan.
Sculling takes place on fixed seats, whereas sweep rowing is on movable seats.
Sculling, 2 oars. Sweep rowing, 1 oar each per person. For 15 points, which river and its main tributary, the Green River, are the largest rivers
St. John's, Talon.
The Columbia.
in Utah?
Klein, Neil.
The Snake.
The Colorado River. For 15 points. The cosine of what acute angle is equal to the sine of 20 degrees?
Klein, Mike.
70 degrees.
Correct. For 15 points, what type of surgeon specializes in replacing joints and operating on...
St. John's, Talon.
An orthopedic surgeon.
For 20 points, the diameter of our... And that marks the end of the game. Judges, is the score correct? We are checking on the score from the judges.
Do you have that? Do you have that score? Okay, yeah, I think that's fine.
And the score is correct, so that means that St. John's comes out the winner with 300 points to Klein's 215. A good game by both teams. We want to congratulate you both. And make sure you join us again next week here on the Texaco Star Academic Challenge. We'll have 2 more teams competing against one another. Hastings versus Kingwood next week. Have a good weekend.
Yo, this is EG, inviting you to take a look back with us at spring break. Plus, catch an exclusive interview with the Archangels. It's wacky, it's nutty, it's teams on TV. This morning at 10:30 on Houston's
2. Join us again next Saturday when 2 more Houston area teams compete on the Texaco Star Academic Challenge.